Hey guys, welcome to the second part of my breakthrough card rating series, where I rate all the new expansion cards from 1 to 5 stars. In today's video we will take a look at the new British cards, so let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Alright guys, first card we will take a look at is the Evasive Action, a 0k countermeasure that can cancel deployment effects. When I first saw that card, I was really amazed about its power for 0k cancelling deployment effects. And even on the second thought, I really think that this card has to be played in each Britain deck and with Britain Ally, because there are so many strong deployment effects in the game, and for 0k just cancelling them sounds amazing. Just imagine facing Japan aggro, what is currently the strongest deck in the game. And with this countermeasure, you can just block all of their current removal. You can keep your guards alive with it against Raiding Brigade, for example, or Sendai Regiment. They're not working as long as this countermeasure is up. Yeah, so for me, I think one of the strongest British cards in this expansion, so I would rate this 4 stars. It's not completely broken, but very strong, I think. Then we have 2k order critical damage, and it gives an enemy unit, when this unit receives damage, pin it. So this order might fit perfectly into commando decks, because each time you ping an enemy unit, it gets pinned. But outside of commandos, I don't see how this card can be good, because you always have to spend resources on damaging the unit, and then it only gets pinned and not removed. So I would only rate this card with 2 stars. Then we have a card that I really like the concept of. It is the 2k Royal Scots. And enemy random effects always choose this unit while this is on the battlefield. So any Avenger, B-17, Akita, Corsair death damage always will hit the Royal Scots. So they can be very strong in random situations, but unfortunately they don't have guard or that much attack that they might have an impact on the battlefield. So I don't think it will be played a lot, but I really like the concept. So I would give this card maybe 3 stars. Then we have another interesting card, the Order Airdrop for 3k. You can retreat an enemy unit in the front line, and if the front line is now empty, you add 2 of the second parachutes to it. And the second parachute is a 1k 0 operation cost infantry unit with 1 stats and mobilize and fury. So I thought about this card a lot, and it has some nice OTK potential. For example, airdrop into Monty into Blitzkrieg deals 20 damage. So if your opponent is having 1 unit in the front line, you airdrop it, pin his support line, and next turn 2 of the second parachutes will be 2 2s, and you give them +3 attack with Blitzkrieg and suddenly have 20 damage. So it's not working if your opponent has 2 units in the front line, then you need 2 airdrops, but then you have 4 of the second parachutes in the front line. Oh no, just 2. Because when you play the first one, it's not empty, so yeah. It needs a decent setup to make this work, but I can really see Scout, for example, making this a thing. So I'm really looking forward, but I don't think it is that great. So maybe 2.5. Then we have the RAF Anson, a 3k fighter that draws you a card when you attack with a Spitfire. So with the new expansion for Brits, there are a lot of cards that synergizes with Spitfire, and I think There's just one new Spitfire, the one from USA. And the existing one is the 5.5 Spitfire and the 6.6. Yeah. This card, I don't know, 1.4 stats for 3k, draws you when you attack with a Spitfire. The Spitfires are 5k and 6k. So it needs a lot of setup to get any draw out of this, and then you maybe don't always want to draw when you attack with the Spitfires, so I don't know. I don't like this card in general, or in the current state, so I would go with 2 stars. Irish Guards, 3k infantry with Fury, and on Pincer gives itself and another unit +1 attack. The good thing about the Irish Guards is that it has 4 health, so it might stick on the board for a while, and giving itself and the other unit +1 attack is also not that bad. What is a little bit confusing that it's the Irish Guards and this card it's not having guard, but yeah, might be not the biggest problem. It can fit into maybe German-Britain aggro, so I see this stack viable with Valentine, and then maybe Valentine +1 attack from the Irish Guards, -1 operation cost from the Jäger Regiment that we saw in the German video. I would go with 3 stars. I don't think this card... I mean, even 1 attack on the bomber, for example, or a guard can help to get rid of a special unit. So yeah, 3 stars, nevertheless. Then we have the RAF Ground Crew, a 3k infantry unit that makes your Spitfire cost 2 less and give them +1/+1 when they are getting deployed. Another card that synergizes with the Spitfires. You can have 3 of them. So just imagine having 2 ground crews on the board. Your 6k Spitfire will just cost 2 and will be an 8/8. So yeah, this card can snowball a lot. It does not bring any impact on the board itself because it only has 0 attack. But it can stick on the board, and for example, in Ruby Tanya can make it a 6/6 with 1 operation cost. But it's only fitting in that special Spitfire deck and not in any other deck with that effect, so yeah. Maybe in later expansions when there are coming more Spitfires it will become better, but at this state I would give it 3 stars too. Then we have the British Research card. Compared to the German one, I like the German one, at least the early stages, a little bit more, because they are a little bit more versatile and give you the option to remove cards from board, what the British one not does. But the final stage of the British research card is just so insanely broken, and I think the strongest from all the 3 research cards, that I would also give it 4 stars. Exactly as the German one. Even active sonar, as you can see here, is also very strong, pinning all enemy units and make enemy hand cards +3 cost is also insanely good. So yeah, I would also go with 4 stars for this. Then we have the Cruiser Mark III, a 2/5 tank that gives +2 attack on Pincer. Wow. Also, this might also fit in German, British aggro tank deck, and I'm really looking forward to try this card out. +2 attack is such a lot. 4k, 4/5 tank, and give another tank also +2. Just imagine this on Valentine. You have a 4/4 Valentine with Fury and probably 0 operation cost. So wow. Just drop the... Okay, Valentine is 3k, right? So on an already deployed Valentine, do this. The 56th Jaeger Regiment is just 1 credit. So for 5 credits, you can deal 8 damage to opponent's face when you already have deployed in Valentine. Yeah. And then your opponent still has to deal with the Valentine, with this guy, which is a 4-5, and with the Jaeger Regiment. So, yeah. My rating would be also 4 stars. Then we have 4K order Fog of War. Remove target unit from the battlefield, put 2 copies on top of owner's deck. So the good thing about this card, it's a little bit like Grounded, that takes an enemy unit and puts it on top of owner's deck. I'm not sure if Grounded is just on enemy units, or you can also do it on your own units, but Fog of War you can also do it on your own units maybe and get a good deployment unit back. Just imagine this on a naval brigade, killing enemy unit, play it, and then on over 2 turns you draw 2 naval brigades back. So it's also a little bit like a rescue mission, but not giving you the cards instantly, but you can choose what cards you get back. I'm not really sure how to rate this card. I mean, it can be very good when you can turn it on a good card. Also, when you remove your opponent's unit, you don't trigger the destruction effect if the unit has one. But you give him 2 of them back, so... Yeah, I think I would prefer playing Rescue Mission over this in my decks. That's why I just give it 3 stars. Yeah. Coming to the worst British cards that's coming with the expansion. 4K Sea Patrol. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Cost 1 less for each friendly air unit. Yeah, I don't like this card. I mean, the effect reads nice. So you have a potential of 0k, deal 2 damage. But I don't like that it's just 2 damage. I would prefer seeing this card that deals 3 damage and then the same text. But at this state, I would only give it 1 star. I don't like it. You need such a specific setup to make it worse playing it that I don't like it in general. I can be wrong, but only 1 star from my side. 4K Seafort Highlanders is the next card. A 1/8 guard infantry that has +3 attack on the enemy turn. I think this card might be maybe the most underrated British card that's coming with the expansion. Because it has very high Rule Britannia synergy, and with the +3 attack on enemy turns, it puts itself out of so much removal possibilities for your opponent. Yeah, because he cannot raiding brigade it, he cannot amphibious assault it. It has 8 HP, what is also a lot. So not even a hammer can kill this in 1 swing. Yeah, so it will stick a while on board, I think. That's the reason why I would give this card 4 stars too. I think it's very, very good. And a Rule Britannia on that makes it on enemy turns and even on your turn a 10/10 for that was originally 4K. I think this card will be seen a lot. Then we have the Order's Second Chance for 4K. Draw 2 random orders from your deck. I also thought about this card for a while. And I'm not really sure how to rate it. It can be good to look for your Commonwealth, for your Rule Britannia, for your other draw cards maybe, like Lend-Lease. Yeah, but I'm not really convinced that this card might see more play like a convoy, for example. I think I prefer convoy over this one. But yeah, maybe somebody finds an option where it's super strong, but from my side, I would only give it 2 stars. Next one is the Elite Bomber 6K Sunderland Mark V. At the start of your turn, draw a card. 6K for 2 attack bomber without deployment effect, and maybe you don't even get the benefit from it and drawing a card because it's just on the start of your turn. And it is in range of a lot of removal, like as I said earlier, Raiding Brigade, Amphibious Assault. Yeah. I think it's just 2 less impact for its cost. That's why I would also rate it just 2 stars. I mean, it is also, with its 6 health, it has Rubritannia potential, and then it would be OP, 8/8 bomber. I mean, yeah, but you have to make it survive until then, and I don't see that too much. Yeah. Okay, final card for the Brits is the 8K Wellington Bomber, 5/4 stats, and it costs 2 less to deploy for each order you've given this turn. Very controversial card, because a lot of people are arguing that this might fit into Commando, because you have a lot of orders in your deck that you play. Other people disagree and say, yeah, you want to stack your support line with Commandos and not with this bomber. So the math is that you just need 2 orders to have a 5/4 bomber for 4K, which is not too bad. But yeah, you need to play 2 other cards to just deploy this bomber for 4. So yeah, it can be good in, for example, Commandos. Or yeah, any other deck that relies a lot on giving orders. Maybe we will see this card a lot, but I don't see it too often. But I would rate it 3 stars. Yeah, guys, that's it for the British cards. Let me think what you think about my rating, and maybe you rate one of these cards completely different. I would really like to know your opinion. Don't forget to like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. And then we will see us in the next video. Bye bye.